Hey camera crew, welcome back to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to photograph children, babies, toddlers, all good stuff like that, because sometimes it's hard to get kids to smile, get them to pay attention and sit down. So I'm going to share my favorite tips on getting great kid pictures. If you are new here, my name is Lindsay. I'm a photographer in Michigan. I make videos all about photography, owning a business, how to work a camera, how to take photos. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's get on with the video. So my first tip for getting great kid, toddler, baby photos is using fun props. Like this one, I used bubbles, so you can use bubbles, you can use fun chairs, you can use stools, you can use any stuffed animals, you can use, flowers, fun things like that to keep the kids interested in the photo, because if you just have them standing there, odds are they are not going to want to stand there. But if you have a fun prop like, oh, here, hold this flower, oh, here's some bubbles, those are great ways to get the kids into the photo, and it makes a great photo. Another great tip that also goes along with props is have the parents bring in their favorite stuffed animal, bring their phone so that they can play their favorite song or their favorite TV show and be like, okay, look at this, if they have their favorite kind of teddy bear. Oh, look at this teddy bear. Those are just great ways on how to get the kids to look and to be happy. Also, what you can do is you can ask the parents prior to the photo shoot. What, do you have something to say? So what you can do is you can ask the parents prior to the photo shoot, oh, what is their favorite animal? What is their favorite candy? What is their favorite TV show? And you can bring that up in the photo shoot by saying, oh my god, this is one of my favorite ones to use. If they love elephants, if their favorite animal is elephants, I'll be like, oh my gosh, is there an elephant on my head? That's one of my favorite ones to use, and they always look right at you, and I have the camera up here, so they're looking right at the camera, and odds are they're smiling because they're like, no, there's not an elephant on your head. So those are great ideas to use to get them to look at the camera and also smile. So a few years ago, my aunt got me this monkey. It's a circle and it's got a monkey on top, and you can put it right on your camera lens, and so that the kids are looking at the monkey and they're like, oh my gosh. And I'll be like, where's the monkey? Look at the monkey. And they look at the monkey and they smile, sometimes laugh because they think it's just funny. So invest in one of those. I think they were off of Amazon. I honestly lost mine when I moved, so I have to buy a new one, but it always worked out great. So another tip, this one is good sometimes it's not, depending on, the parents, and this is this sounds bad, but it would be bribing. So sometimes if I know, if I've taken the kid's picture before, and I know that they have a hard time sitting still, they obviously don't want their picture taken, it's just a really rough experience for them, I bring candy, and I'll say, okay, if you do good at this shoot, here's a sucker. Now be careful, because some parents don't let their kids have candy, some parents don't want them to have more sugar. So you can message the parents before and say, hey, sometimes I give the kids suckers, is it okay if I give it to them? Don't ask them at the shoot, because if you say, oh hey, can the kid have a sucker, the kid knows that they're gonna get the kid knows that you have a sucker, and then if the parent's no, they're gonna be really upset. So ask before, or if you already know the kids, if this has been a previous client, you obviously know if they can have candy or not. My next tip is a two-parter. So number one, making sure that they are comfortable, and this goes with any kind of client, kid, adult, teenager, whatever. Make sure that they're comfortable, because if they're not comfortable and they're shy, they're not going to smile for a picture. It's not going to be, a relaxed photo. They're going to be stressed out, and you just want your model comfortable, especially kids. Also, patience. You need patience with kids, because they are not going to just be like, oh, okay, you want me to sit here? I'll sit here. I'll smile. It's going to be a breeze. It never ends up that way. So you have to make sure that the kid is comfortable. You want to make sure that the kid has a good time, because if they don't have a good time, they're not going to smile. They are going to probably cry, and you won't get any photos. Also, if, let's say that you're taking their Christmas photos, and the mom's like, okay, well, I want like spring pictures in the spring. You want to make sure that that kid is comfortable around you, so that your next session goes way more smoothly than before. And you want to have patience. You want to let the kid make a connection with you, so that, they feel comfortable. Like I said, so they feel comfortable around you, so that they can have a goofy side. They can have fun, because every photo shoot should be fun. You shouldn't want like a stressful, not fun photo shoot. And that's what makes my job so much fun, because I get to have fun when I take photos. So with the kids, listen to their stories. If they just went and had a soccer game and they wanted to tell you about it, listen to their story. If you have like a super tight schedule of photo shoots, and let's say it's only a 25 minute session, still listen to their story, but you got to kind of work fast. If it's an hour session, take some time and make a connection with the kid or kids or whoever. Just make a connection, and when they tell you your story, like, answer back and be like, oh my gosh, I did that one time. I used to play soccer when I was a kid. And then you make that connection with that kid, and they feel so much more comfortable, and they actually listen to you and say, okay, this isn't so bad. So this kind of also goes with the last tip a little bit, but that is working fast. So when I say that, I don't mean going so fast where you just like click, 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 don't even look at the photo, don't put any effort into the photo at all. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, prior to the photo shoot, if you know how many kids are in the family, if you know who your model is when you're about to take the photos, you think of pose ideas, like plan out your shoot before you go to the shoot. Plan out, different poses you're going to do. If you already know the location, pick out the different spots of the location you're going to go to. And when you have this all in your head and you know all this stuff prior, it's going to go so much more smoothly. And I'm not saying to rush the interaction with the models. That's not what I'm saying, because I still want you to listen to their stories and talk with them, make a connection. But when you're actually taking the photos, like, plan it out. Don't just be like, oh, okay, let's think of a pose. I don't really know how to pose you. Like, kind of plan. And that's also another good tip, is to plan prior to the shoot, because it will just go a whole lot smoother. And then another great tip that I have, and I don't know if this goes into a certain category, but it's just kind of a tip that I like to do. This might go with like making sure that the kids are comfortable with you, and that is with posing. Let's say, like, this is how normally it goes with me. So if the kid is standing there, I'll say, okay, can you sit down on your bottom? And if they say no, I'll say, oh, you don't want to sit down? And they're like, no. And I'll say, oh, okay, you don't have to sit down if you don't want to. We can do a standing pose. So have them do a different pose. And then once they get a little bit more comfortable with you, try again. Be like, okay, are you sure you don't want to sit down? Like, the grass is super soft. You can sit down here, or you can go sit down on that chair. And maybe they will. But don't, like, make them do something that, like, a pose that they don't feel comfortable doing, because they're probably just going to sit there and, like, hate the pose. And, like, I don't know. Because you know how, like, kids are sometimes, and if they don't want to sit, they won't sit. So, just make sure that they're comfortable, like I said again. And if they don't want to sit, don't make them sit, because there's a bunch of other different fun poses that you can do. And then maybe along, once they get more comfortable with you, you can be like, okay, will you sit down now? And they will. So, because again, you want to make sure that the photo shoot and the session and the experience is good and fun and not like, oh, you have to sit down. You know what I mean? Because I feel like because kids will not like that. So another thing to go with posing is to have them do fun poses. So a great pose that I like to do is on their belly, and they can have their hands up on their cheeks or on their chin or even down on the ground. Lots of times kids love to lay on their belly, as long as, you know, they're not laying in dirt or in mud or anything like that to get their outfit dirty. It's just a fun pose, and kids normally love to do that. Another fun pose would be sitting on a chair, sitting on a bench, sitting on a bridge. Also another pose that I've had lots of luck with is having their back up against something. I don't really know why. I've just always had good luck with it. So putting their back up against a tree or putting their back up against a railing or a fence, and then they can cross their arms. They can put their arms, or they can put their hands in their pockets. And lots of times kids will do that. I'm not sure why, but they will. So you can try that out. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video.